So you know something you don't have to do when your game and your company is successful? Close down studios. You don't have to do that when you're successful. But sure, let's keep acting like the games that Ubisoft has been putting out are successes. Ubisoft Leamington officially closes as layoffs accelerate and Tencent restructuring looms. After months of internal emails and corporate reshuffling, Ubisoft Leamington has now publicly confirmed its permanent closure. The announcement comes not through a high-profile press release or coordinated corporate messaging, but instead via a modest two-part post on the studio's unverified Twitter account, symbolizing how far Ubisoft's reach has fallen. Officially closed its doors. We're incredibly proud of our talented team whose creativity and dedication have shaped the games we've created, impacting millions of players worldwide along the way. While this marks the end of a chapter, we'll still be part of the UK games development. You can keep up with our UK team and further developments by following Ubi Reflections. If you're local to Leamington, we'll still see our remaining team in and out Leamington and out and around Leamington and at local events. Thank you for your support. Ubisoft Leamington has officially closed its doors. Yeah, we already read that. It's a soft and humble ending for a studio that's contributed to major Ubisoft projects like Star Wars Outlaws, Far Cry 5, and Skull and Bones. Which Star Wars Outlaws, Skull and Bones, like Skull and Bones was like $800 million budget. It was a terrible game. Like they put so much. People were thinking that it's like pirates and stuff like that. You can go on shore. No, no, like the whole thing is just you're fighting on the ocean. No one wants to do that. Definitely not for like $70. But you know, but the writing's been on the wall since January when Ubisoft first revealed its sweeping plans to restructure across multiple European offices. Now the closure is complete, and it won't be the last. Ubisoft's January layoff announcement was just the beginning. Back in January, Ubisoft announced the elimination of 185 positions across the studios in Leamington, Dusseldorf, Stockholm, and Reflections in Newcastle. Ubisoft Leamington was singled out for the full closure, while other offices were scaled down. You want to know when stuff like this doesn't happen? When you're successful. But sure, keep defending the shit that Ubisoft is producing. Certainly it's done them a lot of good, hasn't it? To the point where yet another studio has to be shut down. But sure, keep sucking that Ubisoft dick. If you want to think that Star Wars Outlaws, Skull and Bones, Assassin's Creed Shadows, if you want to think they made them like $1 kajillion when they didn't, you're just the one enabling this kind of stuff. You're the ones shutting it down. Because instead of holding these people accountable, you just consume all the slop that they produce. So, the people who are supporting this are the reasons why these good people are now out of jobs. Because when you have assholes who just don't want to admit that a game is bad and they'd rather just the freaking the corporation the entire time, they're going to think, oh, well, why should we have to have a high quality product? We're going to have people defending us. They have no reason to do it. So maybe stop sucking that corporation dick and start holding these corporations responsible for producing crap, especially when that crap is going to cost you $70. But sure, just keep. I hope it fucking tastes good. You people do it enough. The move was described as at the time as part of a cost cutting cost cutters. I always bring it up, cost cutters. Remember that store? Oh man, standing in front of a fucking 530-degree oven all day really takes it out of you. Cost cutters. I think they're still around, and I always say we had one in New Jersey when I lived in New Jersey when I was a kid. That's where we went a lot. Hell, I remember the cashier. Her name was Jean. I think it was like Gene, like Jean, not like Gean, not like Jean Grey, Jean, but like Jean, like Gene. But she was always there because she was always there when we went. Same thing with IHOP. Her name was Phyllis, so we just changed the name to the International House of Phyllis because she was always there. Anyway, cost cutters. Cost cutting strategy to prioritize projects and ensure long-term stability. However, internal communication obtained by YouTuber Smash JT and Endymion revealed that just how deep the cuts were running. A leaked email from Ubisoft executives explained the reasoning behind the layoffs, expressing regret while also acknowledging the need to refine studio strategy and create an environment for future projects to survive. As we noted then, Ubisoft's situation wasn't just about trimming excess. It was a company trying to downsize fast enough to stay afloat. Fast forward to April, the Assassin's Creed Shadows, which Ubisoft has pinned many of its hopes on, is already underperforming. Despite heavy marketing and delay to polish the release, early reviews have been mixed and player engagement is lower than expected. But 3 million players! According to third-party data, concurrent player counts have failed to crack previous franchise highs, and sales are soft in major markets. Ubisoft continues to claim that Assassin's Creed has over 2 million players worldwide, which on the surface seems great, but when you look at the language they're using, things start to get hairy. They're touting 2 million players and not 2 million units sold, leading many to believe Ubisoft is lumping its subscription members into the number to inflate the game's perceived success to investors. This is particularly bad news for a publisher already bleeding out. Ubisoft has lost over 85% of its market cap since 2021, dropping from $12.17 billion to just $1.78 billion at the start of this year. Its cash reserves are dwindling, its debt is growing, and its leadership has yet to articulate a clear, viable strategy to reverse the trend. Tencent, yeah, Tencent is possibly going to purchase them or, have a major stock in them. So, there's that. They want to be able to, Ubisoft still wants to be able to keep things like Rainbow Six and Assassin's Creed, and I think there's like one or two others. Multiple employees have told sources that the remaining teams are bracing for the next wave of cuts. Assassin's Creed Shadows underperforming and Skull and Bones failing to meet even conservative expectations, Ubisoft's roadmap looks fragile at best. Staff at non-priority studios are reportedly in the dark, feeling sudden reorganizations or pink slips with little notice. Yeah, I mean, again, we're telling them how to freaking make a successful game to where you don't have to do this. Because again, when you're successful, you don't have to close down all these studios and lay people off left and right to, cut costs. But sure, again, if you people want to keep thinking that this studio, this gaming company, is being successful and that these games are making them a lot of money, I have a bridge I'd like to sell you. Again, Assassin's Creed Shadows, there's a reason why they're using players instead. Free game codes. Buy this Intel thing, get the game for free. Ubisoft Plus, which people are like, oh, well, hardly anyone. It's still enough. That's all they don't care if a lot of people do it. It's just still enough to inflate the numbers. There's a reason why they're saying players instead of units sold. Monster Hunter Wilds has come out and said units sold. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, units sold. Why? Because they're good games and they sold a lot of units and made a lot of money. So why is it that this game, AAA game, they're using the language of players, in game, or players worldwide. Why aren't you saying units sold? Because they didn't really sell that many units. Again, game codes. People were, talking on Twitter about game codes. They were giving out game codes, and a person was like, "Oh, trying to inflate those numbers. I, already worry about the numbers." And person comes in like, "Oh, it's not uncommon for companies to give out free game codes and blah blah blah." And again, Ubisoft Plus, people may not have it, or a lot of people may not have it, but the people who do, that's just adding to that number of the 3 million players worldwide. Like, wow, 3 million players. How many copies have you sold? But again, the ones who are defending them, the ones who are defending the game, you're the reason these people are being put out of business. You are the reason, because you keep tolerating it. Because you have people online talking about it, about how to make the game better, and we're just called phobes isms. And instead, you leave big company. You're doing the meme. Leave big company alone. Nothing's gonna change when they know that they have you fucking morons to defend them. They're gonna keep continuing to just produce slop, because they know that you're gonna constantly for them. So enjoy your shitty fucking games. Enjoy having good people lose their fucking jobs. You guys are doing it. You guys are doing it because you keep defending these companies. Instead of just admitting that they created a shitty fucking game, instead you'd rather suck that corpo dick and come after us, calling us phobes and isms. So, congratulations. You just got an entire studio fucking laid off and closed down. I hope you're happy. But no, it's our fault somehow. It's always our fault. The ones calling it out, trying to prevent this kind of stuff from happening, trying to tell these companies how they can make money. But it's our fault. Anyway, that's going to do it for me. You guys know the drill. I'll see you guys later. Bye, guys.